Hello, welcome. It's me, Marbles44, and I'm back with another Cardfight Vanguard deck profile. Crayoline deck profile, because this time it is Crayoline. Oh wait, that doesn't make any sense. Spoilers for the future. But yeah, today's deck profile, we have the Immortal Death Army Kaiser. Now, it's with the new Crossride, because the release of EBO6, not EBO6, sorry, the EBO6 was a while ago. EBO, I believe it's 8 and 9? I can't fully remember, but 8 and 9 just came out. The one with all the machines, Blau Kluger, this guy, and then there's also Novel Vague now and everything. But yeah, those just released. Those just came out, and with that, I made a deck profile on this deck because I've been wanting to make a deck profile on this deck for a while, a Death Army Kaiser deck profile, but I found they weren't as effective, and then when I tried him out, I found him to be incredibly effective. So because of like the meta and everything, the other one's just completely weak because it's easy to drop 15k for the Vanguard and just drop 10ks for the rear guards. I mean, the pressure's nice, but it wasn't as effective as it used to be, and you could play it, but I don't think I played it as many grade 3s as I could have, which is why this is the one I'm doing the deck profile on. So anywho, let's just jump right into it. Before I do, though, I do want to say something about the deck. It's an amazing deck. I've actually won tons and tons of games with it because of how much pressure I put on. So this deck, if you really, really like full-out pressure, this is a deck for you, my friend. But yeah, let's get into it. So our starter is Deity, White Tiger. I used Riot Horn at first, but I found him not as effective because a lot of the time he's not in front of a Beast Deity, and it just doesn't help because you have to make your columns early on. Now, I didn't want to use the grade 3 starter, the grade 3 Searcher starter, because of the fact that he screws up the deck because you need to drive check those grade 3s. Those are your destructive components. So using a grade 3 Searcher, even though the Crossride is really important, and most of the time when I get the Crossride I win, and I only win sometimes when I don't, it just kind of screws up the deck a bit, so you just have to hope you get the Crossride off. Yeah. But so that led me to choose White Tiger. He just helps you restand something, and then you could throw something else down. He just helps add more pressure, I guess, especially because if you use him on, I have Max Beast in the deck. If you get to use him on Max Beast, it actually helps a lot because you can counterblast again and stand something else because it doesn't have to be Beast Deity of what you stand for Max Beast. So that's really handy, and I found White Tiger the handiest in the deck, and yeah. So let's move on to our grade 3s. So for Immortal Asura Kaiser, not eternally invincible. So if you guys don't know what he does, obviously he's the Crossride of the deck. He's he's a restanding Vanguard, so restanding Vanguards for the win. But yeah, so when he drive checks a grade 3 Nova, he gets an auto that lets him counterblast 2. You choose 2 Nova Grapplers from your hand, and then you discard them, obviously. And at the end of the battle that it attacked, you may pay the cost. If you do, you get your you choose your Vanguard and a rear guard, stand them, and then your Vanguard gains plus 10,000 until end of turn. So, and then his normal skill, if Asura Kaiser's in the skull, he has 13k. He's 13k at all times. So it's an amazing restanding Vanguard. I really like it. It adds a lot more pressure to the Nova Grapplers and how they work, because I still have the Death Army Lady and Death Army Guy in this deck. So you have a Death Army Lady, Death Army Guy column. When you pull that grade 3, they stand, your Vanguard gets to stand, you stand the other rear guard, maybe there's a Max Beast, you counterblast one, the guy in front of him stands, and you just have basically a whole standing field but the one behind your Vanguard, because that one's not too important because of the fact your Vanguard will be hitting for 21 or 23. Because it gains 10,000, right? But it's an amazing restanding Vanguard. I really love it. it adds so much pressure. Obviously, you do have to be very careful on what you guard and what you don't guard, because of the fact that it's really hard to deal with it. Um, because you have 10 grade 3s in the deck because of how much you need to drive check them. I tried 9, and 9, I could just not pull them enough. 10 is a perfect amount not to get too overloaded, but to give you enough drive checks to get them. I have been thinking of knocking it down to 9, but I don't think I will. So yeah, that's that. Um, I found with 9, you just didn't pull them enough, and you really do need them the whole game because you want to use Asura Kaiser to pressure early on. So that's why I play 10, because you need it for Asura Kaiser early, and then you need it for the Immortal one later on when you hit 4 damage and when you Crossride. But yeah, so onto our next grade 3s for Asura Kaiser. You guys don't know what he does when it drives check. If you didn't, well, yeah. But wow, okay, I can't speak. When it drives checks a grade 3 Nova Grappler, you get to choose one of your rear guards and stand it. So it's really, really good. It's the reason I play 10 grade 3s, or else I'd probably play like 9 because I want to make sure I get one for my brake ride. I mean, not my brake ride, my cross ride. But he's the reason I play 10 is because I need it early on as well. I need it early and I need it late. So you just have to hope you can get them both. If you kind of get them late game and it's handy, but you don't get to put on as much pressure as you would be able to, right? But yeah, it's for the cross ride. You want to ride this first. You want to pressure early with him. If you get him early, most of the time you will win the game because of how much pressure he puts on. So yeah, and then we have 2 Strongest Beast Deity, Ethics Buster Extreme. So I was playing Ethics Buster at first, but the Brake Ride is too slow for the deck, because you want to just use Asura Kaisers, both of them, just repeatedly. You want to use the first one, and then you want to use the Immortal one right after when you hit 4 damage. So you want to just pressure with those continuously and just force out so much guard out of your opponent's hand. So with Extreme, he works a lot better in the deck because when I run out of Counterblast to use, I ride him over Immortal. I mean, I have to play 2 others of something. So I chose this because I could just ride him on top of Immortal Asura Kaiser. And then I can just continue pressuring with the, if I drive grade 1 or higher, I get to stand up a rear guard. And that just puts on even more pressure, especially what if I pull a grade 3? I stand up a rear guard and I get Death Army Lady and Death Army Guy to stand too. So it just helps put on pressure after you can't use your your restand anymore. So I like him for that reason. And he's a good beast deity to restand too. 11k with the White Tiger. But yeah, so let's move on to the grade 2s. So we have 3 beast deity Damned Leo. 10k beaters. I tried 4, but it wasn't as effective because I needed 3 of someone else. So yeah, it kind of didn't work as well for the deck, and I knocked it back down to 3. 3's perfect, helps you use your 10k beaters the way you're supposed to in Nova Grapplers, and it's not too much for this deck. You have a lot of 11k beaters, yes, but yeah. Which is why I tried playing 4, actually. I tried playing 4 Damn Leo, and it just still didn't work as effectively. Because I play 3 Brutal Jack. Now, I did have 2 when I tried playing 4 Damn Leo. I did have 2 Brutal Jack, but it just didn't, as I said, it didn't work as effectively. You need Brutal Jack early on as well, because even though he uses up Counterblast every turn, I mean, I have Claydol Mechanic, so I can unflip damage, but all I really want from him early on is just that 11k beat pressure, because you don't really have any grade 3s that you can, I haven't, normally when I get, what am I trying to say? um, most of the time you don't have the grade 3s you want. Like, I've had Asura Kaiser as my Vanguard and Immortal in my hand, and so I don't have an 11k beater. So I kept it at 3. I'm not playing 4. There's no way I'm playing 4. That's too much. But 3 is perfect. Not too little, not too much. Uses up a little bit of counterblast, but obviously I could recover that. So just grade 11k, grade 2 beaters. Beautiful. And then we have 4 Death Army Lady. Obviously, if you don't know what Brutal Jack does, actually, you have to counterblast 1 at each turn to let go of its restraint, or else it can't attack. But that's no biggie in this deck. They're great in Nova Grappler decks. So yeah, 4th Death Army Lady. What she does is when your Vanguard's drive check reveals grade 3, you stand this unit. So that's why this card and Death Army Guy work so well, because they both have the same skill. They both restand whenever you drive check a grade 3, and because you play 10, you're going to be drive checking them a lot, and you can just pressure with it. Like what I was doing is I attack with, if I didn't have Death Army Guy behind her, I'd attack with Death Army Lady to like 9k rear guard, and then I'd pull a grade 3 and smash out another 9k rear guard. It's really handy. Maybe if I get a trigger, I give power to it, and I can attack the Vanguard or something, or pressure more out to kill the rear guard. But it's really, really handy. She's an amazing card in this deck, and I have to play 4 because you need 4. That's just that. You always need this card in this deck. And then we have 3 Beast Deity Solar Falcon. So only 3, obviously, on the grade 1s. Obviously 3 perfect guards. Because you need more pressure. It's one of those decks that you just need the more pressure, because the 4 has hindered me a lot before. 4 has hindered me a lot before. And then I play 4 Claydol Mechanic. So what he does when you call him the rear guard, you're going to flip a damage. So he's really, really handy in this deck. Especially because of Brutal Jack, you want to get those damages flipped back up so you can stand a few times. A couple times or something. Then we have 4 Death Army Guy. Same thing as Death Army Lady. It stands when you drive check a grade 3. So beautiful for this deck. Just an amazing card in this deck and wreaks havoc. And then we have 2 Beast Deity Max Beast. I did try playing 3 Death Army Guy and 3 Max Beast, but I found the 4 Death Army Guy was handier. I do kind of want to play Tough Boy in the deck, but there's no room, because I find Max Beast very helpful if you get to pull a grade 3 and you stand him and then you counterblast 1, stand something in front. I know that uses up your counterblast, but you only play 2 and it's not overly big deal. You only need like 1 of these guys per game anyways. But yeah, he's just really handy to have in the deck to add just more pressure. It's all about the pressure of this deck. You just crazy pressure. Don't worry about your shield. You just pressure, because they can't attack you much if they have no cards. But yeah, so that's why I just play 2. Yeah, that's really it. Anyways, on triggers, so we have 4 Beast Deity Bright Cobra, 3 Cannonball, so 7 stand, 1 Beast Deity Death Stinger, and 4 Red Lightning, 5 crit, and 4 Beast Deity Rescue Bunny. So yeah, I'm using the Beast Deity cards. Reason being is because, you know, with White Tiger, I'd like to use that Beast Deity stuff for it, and you never know if like you can win a game when you counterblast and stand a Beast Deity trigger, and you pull a critical and you slap it all on, and then you somehow win. You never know, right? So it's just safer playing the Beast Deities. Red Lightning is important because you could move into the soul, you get to unflip damage, so he's just more help to unflip more damage. I mean, you only have a certain amount of grade 3s in deck, which is why eventually you want to ride Extreme. But the lineup, same reason as Extreme, you want to just really pressure with the stands early on, and even when you don't get the grade 3s, like the deck profile I did with Extreme, it's the same kind of thing, except a little different. What you want to do is you want to just pressure repeatedly with stands. So if you don't pull a grade 3, you're getting a stand. If you do pull a grade 3, you might get a stand, you might not, you might get a critical, you might get a heal, but the 5 crit is just really important because it helps pressure more, and it's a heavy pressure deck. You don't need draws. Yeah, that's that. But yeah, so that's about it. Thank you guys for joining me in this part. I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. Let me know what you guys think. And yeah, as I said, I kind of feel like I want to play Tough Boys because Immortal can hit for 21 then when he's Crossroad, but it's better for the more 10k drops pressure because that's what the Novas are about. Just dropping 10k, making your opponent drop 10ks repeatedly, 10k shields. But yeah, so let me know. Let me know what you guys think, and also go ahead and let me know if you want me to do any other deck profiles. Remember to go ahead and like and comment, and go ahead and subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. The deck list will be in the description below, and so with a link to my Twitter, Skype, and Facebook. And we'll see you guys next time.